Nirvana. A Seattle-based punk band, Nirvana was formed in 1987 by founding members Kurt Cobain and Chris Novoselic in Aberdeen, Washington. While the band settled with the name Nirvana, some of the names that led to its conception are pretty noteworthy, such as libido, the mandibles, cold and wet, fecal matter, drugs for sale, erectum, bliss, and finally Nirvana. The definition of Nirvana is a transcendent state in which there is neither suffering, desire, nor sense of self. Influenced heavily by a combination of the Beatles, Neil Young, and the Sex Pistols, Cobain wrote catchy punk-driven songs which would later be given the label of grunge. The band went through multiple drummer changes and eventually settled with Chad Channing and recorded their first studio album, Bleach. Released on June 15, 1989, Bleach was recorded under the independent record label Sub Pop. With songs such as Blue, Love Buzz, and Negative Creep, they showed just how hard they could play, but also showed their commercial potential in the song About a Girl, which was written for his then current girlfriend, Tracy Miranda, who was financially supporting him at the time. Chad Channing claims that one day he asked Cobain what the song was about. About a Girl was Cobain's reply, and to that Chad replied, "Why don't you call it that?" With the album being well received, they set off for their first nationwide tour, playing shows across the country, but ended it early due to Cobain's dissatisfaction with the second rhythm guitar player, Jason Everman. After the tour, Cobain felt Sub Pop wasn't doing enough to market and distribute the album the way they should and decided to leave the label. In September of 1990, they made the decision to search for a new drummer, as Cobain felt that Chad wasn't contributing to the songwriting process and decided to find a more solid in-the-pocket drummer. The band of Melvin suggested they audition Dave Grohl from Scream for the part. Dave Grohl was accepted and eventually replaced Chad Channing and learned all of the Bleach songs respectively. They then took a brief tour of England in October of 1990 with the band L7 and in early 1991 signed with BGC Records. They then started working on their follow-up album, The Bleach, with Butch Vig at Smart Studios in Madison, Wisconsin. The album Nevermind, one of the most iconic albums to have ever been made, Nevermind was surprisingly recorded in just 16 days, with the final touches to the album being the Smells Like Teen Spirit solo, in which Butch wanted to be perfect. In August of 1991, Nirvana opened for Sonic Youth at the Reading Festival, which granted them extra leverage on their newfound fame. On September 24, 1991, Nevermind was released internationally, and in just 19 days after its release, on October 12th, it was a certified gold album. In September 29, 1991, just 5 days after Nevermind's release, the Smells Like Teen Spirit video was aired for the first time on MTV's 120 Minutes Late Night Sunday, which was rarely seen. 1 month later, as the band gained popularity, the Smells Like Teen Spirit video was shown on primetime MTV and exploded the new generation through its raw and juvenile-themed music video. It was aired constantly, and now as they embarked on a 6-week European tour and the beginning of the new year around the corner, on January 11, 1992, Nevermind hit #1 on the Billboard Top 200 charts. The band toured Australia, Japan, and Hawaii through January and February, and on April 16, 1992 was on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine for the first time, where Cobain is seen wearing a shirt with the words "Corporate Magazines Still Suck" written on it. The article labeled them the new faces of rock. They toured England for another 6 weeks, and on December that year released Incesticide, which was a compilation of quote-unquote throwaway songs recorded over the years. Incesticide had such memorable songs as Sliver, Dive, Been a Sun, Aero Zeppelin, and Aneurysm. The album went gold in 5 months. And on April 9, 1993, Nirvana joined other bands for a Bosnian rape benefit concert at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, California. They raised over $50,000. And then on September 21, 1993, Nirvana's third studio effort, which was an attempt to lean away from the established Nirvana style and the polished producing that Nevermind was treated to, In Utero was released. In Utero was initially going to be titled I Hate Myself and Want to Die, but due to legal reasons, the name was denied and changed. Upon its release, there were very mixed reactions, but with mostly the album being received well. They then set off on a 3-month American tour, and on November 19, 1993, Nirvana taped the infamous acoustic cover-filled MTV Unplugged, where fellow musicians from the Meat Puppets joined for 3 of their songs, Oh Me, Lake of Fire, and Plateau, in which Kurt Cobain put down his guitar and sang lead vocals. Unplugged live in New York was aired on December 16, 1993 on MTV. On January 7, 1994, Nirvana played their last US show at the Seattle Arena, and in February did their unknowingly final European tour. Cobain was suffering from depression and drug addiction throughout the past couple of years and made several suicide attempts during the tour. When it was all over, Courtney Love and the band had an intervention for Cobain, which prompted Cobain to go to rehab. Sadly, he escaped from rehab and flew back to his Seattle home and committed suicide by shotgun wound to the head in his greenhouse. What he could have done, we will never know, but no matter what, he lives on through multiple generations, inspiring young minds and young musicians to say and do whatever they feel, and that even if they don't understand, maybe you do. Dave Grohl went on to start the Foo Fighters, and Chris Novoselic does side projects from time to time. Keep on rockin'. If you like this video, why not give it a thumbs up? Leave a comment down below for more bands you'd want me to cover, and subscribe for more videos every week.